Alright then team, welcome back to another episode of Shelf Life. This week I'm going to be making you a duck confit lasagna. I've been reading all your comments, thank you so much. I'd like to see a recipe for lentils using jarred and tinned foods. Hashtag quarantine life. Feeling that, thank you Miss Buns in La La Land. I'm going to honour that. I'm giving you a completely eggless pasta dough. For all those of you out there who can't find pasta and eggs, who's got them all? Hope you enjoy it. Let's go and have a look at what's going on over there. So I'm doing 2-to-1 semolina to plain flour. I'm just going to mix those two together. Then I'm going to shove it right down onto my worktop. I'm going to make a little well. So in goes my water. So always err on the side of less water than you need. And then we're just going to gradually work the flour in. Just looks like hummus. This is my mate, Mr. Camera. So you're trying to get to like a wallpaper paste kind of consistency. And then it gets to the point where it all gathers together a little bit and you can kind of get your hands involved. So this is obviously not traditional. You should never usually use Southern Italian pasta in a Northern Italian dish, but these are trying times. Traditional lasagna uses lots of eggs and lovely egg yolks to make it really rich and delicious. God, why am I making dough in every single one? I'm not going to make any in the next one. I'm just going to do something really easy. I'm just going to make a soup. You want to leave that to rest for about half an hour, just to chill out. I was doing some research for the show, and top of the shelf life list was tinned meat, confit, spam, all sorts of business like that. And then I remembered that 5 years ago, I was given a tin of confit for my birthday by my friend. But the best before date is next week. I know what you're thinking. I don't have any duck. Swap it out for beef, veal and pork. Just put in what's available. You could do a vegetarian lasagna. Go and buy some confit duck. Anyway, so I'm going to use that. I'm actually quite scared of what's going to be in here. It just lasts indefinitely. Confit is a really ancient preservation technique. And then let's grab them out. My oven's on. And you can cook tin confit duck any way you like. You can roast it or pan fry it. I'm going to put it in a hot oven to crisp up and then I'm going to shred it into my sauce later. Off he goes to the oven. Okay, rapid recap. I burnt my little finger a tiny bit. Chopped up all my veg. Pasta dough is resting nicely. Duck is crisping up in the oven. So I'm going to get on with my ragu. I've got some leftover duck fat from the from the tin, so I'm going to start with that. So I'm going in with loads of onions, loads of veg, 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to top up my duck fat with a little bit of olive oil. I'm going to use some cinnamon because cinnamon and duck is really nice together. Cook it real slow, and that is just going to give you such a massive backbone. Shout out to, is it Sophie?
Lovely herbaceous backbone.
Genius! So now I'm gonna chuck in some tomato puree, a good squirt, a couple of tablespoons, and then we're gonna cook this out. Now we're gonna go with some wine. I'm gonna go 2 glasses. We're gonna have a little bit of that. And we want that to completely evaporate now until it goes down to nothing. And in the meantime, we're going to chuck in some stuff for flavour. Got some citrus zest. I'm going to chuck in some thyme, some black pepper. If you don't have it, don't worry. It doesn't need it. It's just nicer with it. Plum tomatoes, which I've just crushed up with my hand. Wow, this looks nice. I'm going to slam in a tin of lentils. They really help bulk out ragus if you don't have much meat or you just want to replace the meat entirely. Lentils are really good. So I thought I'd quickly just show you how gnarly and crispy our duck's gone. These things are just incredible. So I'm going to shred these up and I'm going to slam them in there. Wow, it's pretty nuts to think that this was made 6 years ago. And then we're just gonna let that cook for like, 10, 20 mins, and then that'll be ready to build into my lasagna. And then I'm just gonna crack on with my pasta. So I've got a machine, but you could totally do this by hand. And there we go. Now I'm just gonna drop it in and blanch it for 10 seconds. Oh, he's gossamer thin. And then plunge it in cold water. So I'm going to repeat those, quickly make my white sauce, and then we can build. Whoopah! So this is just a basic white sauce. I'm going to add a little bit of cheese to mine. Just your average bechamel. So now my butter's foaming, I'm going to chuck in some flour. And then when it starts to smell a little bit like digestive biscuits, you're in a good place and you can go in with the milk. And I've got some milk here, which I've infused with a little bit of onion, and you want to add it gradually so you can beat out any lumps before you can go in with the next addition. And I'm going to put some cheese in, because that's what I've got. Use whatever you got lying around. Don't put any cheese in at all. You know, it's your party. I had some Confit lying about, so that's my weapon of choice. So this is just a simple white sauce. You can buy it in a tin, you can add stuff to it, but it's just flour, butter, and milk. God, this is gonna be so good. A little bit of nutmeg, a bit of salt, a bit of pepper. Okay then gang, we're ready to build. I have my lasagna sheets, which I've blanched and dried. I've got my cheesy bechamel sauce, oh, delicious. And I've got my ragu ready. So let's do this thing. I've got a greased lasagna dish. I'm gonna go in with some of my ragu. And I'm just gonna spread them around a bit. I'm also gonna go in with a tiny bit of my white sauce. This is just going to give us a little foundation for our first layer of lasagna, so the lasagna doesn't catch on the base. Here I've got my amazing blanched lasagna sheets. I'm just going to trim off the excess. Thinner strip for this side here. Layer 1, not bad. We're in a good place. More ragu. Spread them right to the edge. You don't want to over sauce it, because then you're going to end up with a sloppy old mess. So in Giorgio Locatelli's book, Made in Italy, he says if the lasagna is not standing up, the kids in Italy aren't happy. And I concur. You don't want a big sloppy mess spilling all around your plate. That means there's too much sauce in there. Remember, your pasta is going to keep absorbing moisture. It should stand up to attention. You should be able to cut it with a fork, grab a piece like a cake, and slam it in your face. And you just want to repeat that with all of the layers till it gets to the top of your dish. Give them a bit of cheese, and oh my days, that's going to be absolutely nuts. Now it's going in the oven, half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour, until the top looks good basically. So now this is the hardest bit. I'm going to leave it to rest for 10-15 minutes, and then I'm going to eat it with my wife because she's back now. So look man, this is my confit duck lasagna. I really hope you can use elements of this recipe to make it your own, given how scarce everything is at the moment. But one amazing thing about this particular las is that you leave the corners of the edge of the lasagna slightly uncovered, so no bechamel, just on the corners, and that gives you those crazed crispy bits. So there we go. No one said that isolation or quarantine cooking had to be boring. And my wife's back. She doesn't want to come on, but you're going to come on. Here you go. Why are you being weird?
It's great. Crispy bits, homemade pasta. What more could you want?
Oh my God.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks so much for sending all your messages, guys. I'm going to read all of them. Tom is such a fantastic person. He's a really nice guy. That was fun. I'm going to try my best to honour them all. Thanks for watching. Love you lots. Keep it real. See you later.